Oh, boys and girls. Good evening. Good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. Today we are live for the summer pay-per-view of five-star cornerback Charles Lester III making his commitment tonight in about 10 to 15 minutes here. We wanted to get on the show early so we can get set, get ready to rock and roll, talk about what is to come, where is he going to land. It looks like it's a two-team race. He has basically admitted to that. Josh Newberg came out and said that today. Hayes Fawcett even made a graphic of it just being between Colorado and FSU. I would be shocked. I would love it if Alabama somehow pulled this out, but I don't think Bama has a say in this whatsoever. FSU has felt very confident all the way up until about, I would say, right about now, and I think the nerves are starting to set in a little bit. And what I love about this, and we talk about this each commitment, I love not knowing. There's an excitement to knowing, but there's an excitement of what's happening right now. Is like there's a possibility we could be shocked, and the world could be shocked, and we're here for it. I got to pass it over, though, to our man, our FSU insider, Mr. Steven Chad Hawley. You've seen this movie before, big guy. How are you feeling with just a few moments to spare here?
Boy, I'll tell you what, Shelton. If I were you, I wouldn't even let my child go to Boulder, Colorado, and hope that was going to come back still my kid. Any and everything can happen when Dion gets involved. I mean, like you know, the walk could come back and be like, look, I've moved on. I think I've gone. I'm going to move to Boulder. Look, it's a little nerve wracking. FSU has done just, it feels like everything they can to get to this point, and then all of a sudden, as we get to this point, we're nervous as hell. And so, look, I mean, and like you said, we've seen this movie before. It's gonna be interesting. It's a nail biter, and I hate to say it's a nail biter. It shouldn't be, but look, the kid's gonna have to make a decision on his future, where he wants to play, where he wants to go, and you can never ever count Dion out. The only thing he can count out are some of his toes.
Okay, easy. Take it easy. Look, it's a nail biter, like you said, and I think you guys felt pretty confident up until the last week here, when obviously visiting Colorado, that shakes things up a little bit, but you still felt confident for sure going into today. And there's some chirping going around in the last 30 minutes or so that Colorado has made a last minute push. How much of that is true? You never really know. When it comes down to the last minute, you don't know. But we've seen a lot of this. The one thing I will say consistent that we've seen throughout this entire recruiting process, Deontay Robinson, Florida guy who was supposed to commit to Florida, that we felt pretty confident in. We kind of hinted at it towards it for a week before he committed. Something never changed. Nothing never budged. And that was On3's prediction. Their On3's prediction, 247 prediction, has not flipped yet. And they're rarely wrong on these things because, again, they create the graphic. They have an idea of what's going on. You would assume they would make a last-minute switch because they don't like to look like with egg on their face either. However, the Travis Hunter situation is always going to, give you guys PTSD, as one would say, in the sense of we've been here before. It scares us. What's different from the Travis Hunter to Charles Lester?
Well, I think with Hunter, and we'll talk about this a little bit as the evening goes on, but I think what happened with Hunter and Norvell is that Norvell got comfortable with the relationship that he had with Travis Hunter, and I think, honestly, he felt like he could move on to start heavily recruiting other recruits because he thought that was done. And in recruiting, it's never done. And as that commitment started to get closer and closer, and signing day started to get closer and closer, Travis Hunter started to get more and more quiet. And that started to be red flags. From what I can gather, and from everything that I've seen so far, that hasn't been the case with Charles Lester. Even when Charles Lester was in Colorado, he was still communicating with the FSU beat writers. He was still communicating with the FSU players. And he was communicating with the coaches. So this is a little bit of a different, it feels different going in. Did he go to Colorado? Did he get that last minute pitch by Deion Sanders? sure. But it wasn't like he just cut ties and just went radio silence and we were guessing and wondering. Now it feels like we feel like unless something's changed dramatically in the last 24 hours from what Charles Lester has been telling us, we feel pretty good about it.
We're about 9 minutes away from Mr. Lester committing here. Before he does, let's talk about a little bit again. Why the confidence in FSU? I mentioned it on the show on Wednesday. The lack of confidence coming from the Colorado side. Went and checked out a few Colorado channels to get their pulse on the situation. They're not feeling too confident about it either. And I also mentioned Deion is a once former Florida State player. You guys are all the same in the sense of the way how you carry yourselves, how you try to, stomp along your, carry your swagger, I guess you could say. You don't hold your cards close to your chest when you got a royal flush. And Florida State hasn't been shy about this at all, and it leads me to believe because you feel pretty damn good about it. Again, the only way you lose this is on the river. Okay, I'm staying on tune here with the poker play here. Okay, and that's the last card, and it's a 0.2% when you're watching poker, and it's got 99.9 with one guy and 0.02. He needs one or two cards. That's where we're at right here. It could happen. The lack of sound coming from Deion's camp concerns me in multiple ways. One, shows me that there isn't much confidence that they're landing this young man. But two, things have gotten very quiet from his end in general. Obviously, he is dealing with a lot with his surgery and with his foot situation, which he seems to be thriving in a sense of like recovering, doing pretty well with it. But his lack of presence is definitely, I think, having a factor on recruiting. We don't know how it's going to impact the field just yet, but you got to believe that it's having some sort of an impact on the recruiting side a little bit. I don't think people are going to be too happy to hear that, but that's just kind of just from the outside looking in. Real quick, though, before we move on into that, super chat from Ty Tyndale says $10. Appreciate that, my man. Appreciate the love. And then somebody just says he's delayed it for 10 minutes. So we're no longer 8 minutes out. We've got about 10 minutes here. So we will see.
He's waiting for the next bet. It's a bait
switch. Look, a delay. We've seen these. A delay in the commitment. I don't know who doesn't feel good for, but it rarely feels good for anybody, and I think you can agree with that, Steve. Almost 300 people in here. Make sure you guys drop a like, subscribe, show some love. All right, guys, appreciate it. Lets us know that we're doing a good job. Lets YouTube know that we're doing a good job. So we've got his YouTube. We've got YouTube TV pulled up because I saw somewhere where the ESPN was going to make the announcement. We've got his Twitter pulled up. We've got Hayes Foss's Twitter pulled up. We have everything engaged, ready to go. I don't see anywhere on his thing that he's saying it's pushed back for 10 minutes. But usually the people in the chat.
Obviously, he's so busy, it got pushed back for 10 minutes. Like the guy, he can't just be like posting the entire time. Clearly, he's busy.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I think. Look, I think he's done a good job of playing the game, right? Of creating noise in a sense. And look, I think that's where FSU's done a good job. I think you guys have done a good job marketing this because this has seemed like an FSU lock for quite some time now. Maybe I think at one point Florida he was a 100% crystal ball to Florida at a very early on, and then it flipped to Florida State, and it's been Florida State ever since. You do remember I'm talking like January. Like I'm not trying to say Florida ever had a dog in the fight here, but we did. And look, you can say it's a steal because if you look at the 247 history, we would never committed to Florida, but there was pretty heavy that Florida had a good opportunity, and then it flipped to Florida State, and it's been Florida State ever since. And it feels like, are you just playing the game, trying to create noise, which we've seen these with the cornerbacks. Marty McLean was the last one. We'll see. We will see. Again, over 300 people in here. Make sure you guys show some love. Drop a like. Jordan Harris says Gold Knowles. I want to know in the comments section, where do you guys think he's going to go? Drop your predictions now. I think there's a few Dogs fans in here. I think they understand that they are out of the question. I'm surprised he even put Dogs in there, but he didn't go there to visit. So there's no way it's going to happen to be. No. It's going to be them.
Cancel that.
Yeah, go across that out.
Look. It's interesting to see. Like everybody knows that that this is a big commitment, and we're here on a Friday night as if none of us have lives, waiting for this kid to come out and let everybody know where he's going to go. Look, he's a top 20 commit. He's a top 20.
It's a big commit. It's fun. Look, I mean, we don't have football, right? So this is where it gets exciting. Like we got a little Well, you did. I did. You and Dave got a little flack this weekend for being old and gray beard and backwards hats. So you guys learn how to sleep with that as you will. Thankfully, I think I'm still underneath the radar. I can kind of pull off the backwards hat thing. I thought that was a little bit of a low blow. You look good, Steve, for 57.
Thanks, buddy.
We got another super chat here. $2 from Brian Fisher. He says, Mike Norvell is nothing but a diet Dan Mullen. Harlan's in here, obviously typical Florida FSU fashion, trying to play his card as he should. A lot of FSU fans. Mike Malek B says, "Go FSU." Welcome FSU fans. Happy to have you guys out. FSU, they've been out and proud the last few weeks. They've been doing well. Kudos to them. They're high on their mighty horse, as they should be. But look, guys, let's take a look at some of the film here with Charles Lester. What's interesting, Steve, obviously you're not in this, Steve, but they can hear you still, is a lot of his highlight film is catching the football and catching the football from wide receiver. And there was talk, like, where would he play, right, when he went to college? And we see this with Travis Hunter. He plays both sides of the ball. I don't think Kermani has given us that same sort. But look, you see this a lot with that cornerback position, especially in high school, playing both sides of the ball. That's just kind of how it is. And I was actually watching an interview with Edelman. He played in the pros cornerback, and obviously, as we know him as the wide receiver, but he played cornerback early on in his career. This just tells you these guys are just athletic freaks. And again, playing DB, and you mentioned this, is more of a reaction. We've talked about that as well, is that it's more of an instinct position versus an understanding a route position. So it tells you you've got an athlete on your hand. That's somebody who is going to be an absolute threat anywhere you put him, which just lets you know that, hey, this guy is a great get. But it is funny to watch. Again, a lot of his highlights is him just catching the ball in the open field and making somebody look stupid. But he's also has a great pick highlight as well, too. You can tell he reads the quarterback well with a few of the DB clips. But all in all, look, man, going to be a huge pickup and a huge playmaker for wherever he goes. And I think we've even noticed that with the NFL, these cornerbacks are becoming a high prioritized position, as the running back position has seemed to dwindle off a little bit.
Yeah, look, the way that football has transitioned here over the last, decade, the running back position, it's not less valuable. It's just less utilized, especially at the college level, because you can just spread, if you can get like talent at the wide receiver level and a quarterback that just understands how to run an offense, you can just put 5 wide receivers out there and dissect a defense.
Excuse me.
Because the rules are slighted towards the offense. It's so difficult for a DB to cover for 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 8 seconds. So if you're an offensive player, you just have so many advantages for you now. To be an elite corner, to be an elite defensive back, that's something. And you just don't see the Antonio Cromarties and some of the guys that came out of Ohio State. They just don't have those guys breeding anymore because of the way that the game is played. And then the running back comes in, and it's almost like a way to keep the defense honest from being able to cover. Whereas before, college football especially, you were running a heavy offense with running backs just churning, coming one after the other, 2 tight end sets, 2 wide receivers at best. And you would turn around, you'd hand that ball off, and that play action fake could be the basis of your entire offense. It just doesn't feel that way anymore.
Sure.
So yeah, the corner position and the ability to cover is so fundamental now. It's just different than even just a few years ago.
Yeah, absolutely, buddy. And look, we've got here just a few minutes. I'm trying to stay on top of this. We got a minute left until it's 8:30, and it looks like Dave sent me a link here to see where it could possibly be for Lester's commit.
Minnesota sighting.
I've got ESPN pulled up because I saw that he possibly could be doing that as well. Nose 247, they're doing a watch party as well. They're doing kind of what we're doing. Let me take a look here at this. This is waiting for goal. Noel Game Day. Looks like they're doing one as well. So we'll keep all these guys kind of in tuned and being prepared. Like I said, I've got ESPN pulled up as well. A few of these guys all ready to rock and roll on whoever is going to pop the noise here. We've got over 450 people in here. I have his Instagram pulled up as well. Again, nothing happening on Instagram at the moment, but if he goes live, we'll be there. If it's on ESPN, we've got that as well. Again, there isn't much noise going on, but the one channel I do have right now, it says it's Noel Game Day. It's Charles Lester's commitment ceremony. That could be good news for FSU. Obviously, that's a Noel channel where they are hosting it, and they have it scheduled for 8 more minutes. So, which tells me again why people are thinking that it's being pushed back. Again, Noel Game Day says we're waiting on Lester to arrive still. ... Very interesting development here. That's what they just put in the chat there. So they must be the ones that are streaming it, which again is a good sign for you guys that an in-house company is doing that. But we've seen this before. We have seen this.
Yeah, they would be streaming it, right? They would be streaming it regardless of whether they know where he's going or not, because even if it's a letdown for FSU. You got to be there for, for the potential of the win.
Look, I think, yeah, absolutely. And again, if they're waiting for Lester, I mean, obviously they're probably one of the medias that just showed up because obviously he invited media to come out. So kudos to Noel Game Day for being able to be there and rock and roll with this. Interesting that this man's and I'm pretty sure his party started at 7. So that means that tells me he wasn't at his party when it started at 7 o'clock. Got a lot going on. Maybe quick phone calls. Dion making that last little move here. This reminds me a little bit of the Kermani situation. Remember, Kermani was supposed to show up and sign his letter of intent to Miami, and they had a cake. Wasn't there? No bueno. Yeah. Also reminds me of the Kermani McClain commitment. I know Kermani McClain too. Or this is twice that Kermani did it when he did it to Florida. Well, no, when he did it to Florida. Remember, because Florida, we were getting ready for the watch party on 247, and then the graphic drops before the video drops, which then left the people holding
live together.
It's been rough.
And all of a sudden they dropped the video of Kermani committing to Florida, and it was like, hold on, wait,
to Miami. Oh, but yes.
Yeah.
Then 247 dropped the video.
No.
Yeah, it was
the wrong video.
It wasn't a good day. It wasn't a good day being on the Florida side. Super chat from Nick Myers says Dion has him on the phone. I'm here right now. Nick's right there, inside take, guys.
Always there, Nick.
540 in the chat. Happy to have all of you guys here this Friday afternoon. It is pay-per-view. It's the biggest commit of the summer thus far. We are going to be talking the FSU leaving the ACC to possibly go to the SEC and the Big Ten shortly after this. And then I also am going to be talking about Tua Tagovailoa. Probably butchered his name, but it's Tua's little brother who plays at Maryland currently. Came out during a Big Ten interview and said that he was offered $1.5 million from an anonymous SEC team. That's a big claim. That's a massive claim. There's 2 issues there. Obviously, it's a pay-to-play issue, which we've always talked about, which I don't think anybody cares about anymore. But where everyone's really trying to hone in on is the tampering, which the offer was for him to enter the transfer portal. We all know that you cannot speak to a player until entered into the portal. Based on how certain guys have maneuvered, it's pretty noticeable that they had a home set out before they even entered into the portal. But it's an interesting claim. It's a big claim. It's a bold claim. And I just feel like you can't keep getting away with those arguments. So we're going to talk about that. We're not going to get ahead of ourselves a little bit. We'll talk about that a little bit. But over 500 people in here and not 100 likes. I need some love. Yes, there is a rumor to be heard. And Steve can confirm that Mr. Luke Kromenhoek is also at the commitment party for Charles Lester. This could just, look, if he does not become a null here, this is a big blow. This is a big FU to the boys here.
Golly,
that would really sting. Noel Game Day says we'll go live when he arrives any minute now. You know what would be awesome if he pulls up and him and Coach Prime get out of the car again.
Just get out.
Oh man, look,
he'll have to walk slower, because
what has to concern you again with it being Prime. It's just there's something there. Prime has a vendetta against you guys, and I feel like if there was a team and a person that he would sell the farm for, this is like a small market team like the Rays, right? Going after Shohei Ohtani, like they're spending their entire payroll on it, and it doesn't make sense. It's not the smart move. It's not a smart move, but this is an emotional play, right? It's an emotional play there. $2 from Joe Blackburn, my man. Thank you for the love and support, big guy. We just hit $100. He says FSU can go to hell. A lot of love for FSU in here tonight, boys.
It sounds that way. It sounds that way. No. Now, look, just to that point with the concept of Dion always wanting to stick it to FSU. If FSU doesn't want to stick it back to Dion at this point, and they're not willing to
Sure.
do everything they can to get Charles Lester, I don't know what else you want us to do. Like, I mean, I don't think that Colorado can outbid us. I don't think that Colorado can, give any other benefit than what FSU has, and I don't think, especially, it might be personal for FSU too. It might be personal at this point for FSU as well. I don't think that it's going to be personal for Colorado to be like, hey, let me just find a way to stick it to FSU again. At this point, Mike Norvell probably just wants to show Dion who's boss and trust us. It's us.
Yeah, and I feel like you have to here, right? You have to definitely set the tone here because Norvell, in a sense, is tired of getting shoved into the locker, and especially by Dion. And there's been a lot, just by Dion, not in general. I think he's done a phenomenal job with this recruiting class. I've stated that. I've also stated that you guys would finish top 10. I even made a bet on it. So, look, this is a win-win for me regardless of what happens here. Because if he goes to Colorado, I mean, I don't think I have to explain the W in that. If he goes to Bama, I'll take that, right? If he goes to FSU, it's a win because it helps my bet and it makes you happy, and we get to have some more content doing that. So, look, I hate it because I have to hear you FSU twat muffins ramble on about it. You guys are now. Here's the play here. Before he commits here in just a few minutes, I'm gonna throw my hand now because now we're 2 minutes away. I'm showing my hand to you guys. The positive that I have here, and the reason why you and Harlan can't say a word, okay, and you guys will, is because when we were having, except you, Holly. Actually, no, you can. Harlan and his boy at Double Dick cannot, because when we were having our run, all the FSU guys, every last one of them, somebody clipped this, was, let's talk in October. Congrats. You won when it's July. You played the card that nobody cares about winning in July, yet when it's your turn to win July, you want to get buck rowdy with it, which, look, that's fine. But when you were losing July, you played the October card. You, Steve, did not, and I have your back on that. I have your back on that. Your other boys, however, they did, and you know they did. So I think
I've always beefed up July. I've always said that July was huge for FSU. And I even said,
but when Florida was having a big June and July, the FSU guys were trying to downplay it, meaning like it doesn't matter because let's talk when it's football season, which is a fair argument. But we're talking about a small battle here, right? This is a small battle. We're counting the W. When you discredit it by trying to say, like, let's talk about the future, let's talk about last year, that's Bush League shit. Okay, we're in this right now, and look, you gave credit when credit was due. Your boys did not. And I want to make sure they know about it. Over 600 people in here, boys and girls. We got about a minute left, it looks like, until No Game Day is expected to go live. I think they don't even know when he's going to be here. I think everybody's kind of on their idea. Yeah, I think everybody's on their toes, which is just making this even more exciting. I have got Twitter on refresh. I've got Instagram on refresh. I've got YouTube TV on refresh. I'm watching the women's college softball because apparently he was supposed to be on ESPN. I don't know what's happening. The one downplay on this is, why didn't he have like all this noise and excitement? Why wouldn't he have a page or something to commit on? I feel like the ball was dropped there. You know?
Yeah, for the level of recruit and the amount of static that's gone into this over the last week, I thought there'd be a bigger platform. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, guys, let me know in the comments. Hank says I hit it, Professor. Thank you, Hank, for hitting the like button. I appreciate you, guy. Tyler Dyson's got 3 buffs. Know where he thinks he's going. I want to know in the comments right now, guys. Blow up the chat. Where do you think Mr. Charles Lester III will be committing in just a few moments here, according to No Game Day? They're expecting to go live right now again, but they are not live, which leads me to believe they are still waiting. I got all my notifications turned on for whenever this happens. We're going to flip right over to wherever this is. We are professionals here. We are prepared for this stuff for the most part. I love it. It's just he's just keeping us on our toes here, and maybe it's 8:30 Central Time. You know, I've done that before. Joke? The Central Time joke?
No, the toes joke.
No, that's only you. That's only you. That's only you.
Why am I the only one that makes Dion toes jokes?
All right, hold on. Yeah, you're a little over the top with those. All right, let's see here. We've got the chat just exploded. We got Sport Geek says Florida State. Alex Compton says the Buffs. Let me pull this up real quick before I miss this. Dom says FSU. Daniel D says Colorado. I swear says UCF. Little Dark Knight action. Harrison Sanchez says FSU. Colorado says West Day. Big Folk says Buffs. Marcus says Colorado. Mel says Buffs. We've got Nicholas says FSU. Dre says Bama. Okay, little late pull there. Tag says FSU. Young says Knowles. Credible says FSU. Aaron Joyner says Colorado. Avery says I like that. Carson says he's committed on 347. We should have named our channel that. We got.
Why did we not think of that?
Colorado, FSU, Buffs. FSU, Buffs. Chop. $5 super chat from Dom says FSU can go straight to hell again. FSU 247 is live. I mean, this thing is just heating up here, boys. I got to be honest with you. We'll go to 247 here if they're hot and spicy. Yep, they're here we go. Stream will begin soon. So they are also prepared.
They hit the button.
Who did?
The 247. They hit the button. We're going live. I mean, they've just been kind of like letting it tick. Now they're like, we're going live soon.
So he's had to have arrived here, right? We've got both things. So somebody said he'll be here in 5 minutes. No Game Day has their thing posted. He'll be here in 5 minutes. Charles is arriving, meaning he's pulling in into the Maybach with Coach Prime is driving. Coach Prime is driving.
Is this Elvis has a
Dave? I can't let you in. I got too much going on.
Doing,
Dave, I can't. I don't have you set up, Bubba. Dave's trying to call in. I'm like, Dave, I got this whole built out for a 2-man show. You told me you weren't coming on earlier. You got to let me know these things prior. Dave!
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. So
he must have some.
Are we doing this in a
Jesus.
gym? Like, what are we? Where are we? Where is this commitment happening?
Dave, I don't have room for you, sir. You're hanging out in the green room, Dave. Nobody can hear you. I can't even hear him talk. All right, here we go. Nothing yet, boys.
Oh boy.
Nothing yet, man. I'm getting nervous here because that 247's popping off. We're popping off again. Make sure you guys drop a like, social love. We are here for the commitment of Charles Lester III, number 2 cornerback in the country. Everybody is waiting. I mean, they've got 2,000 people watching 247, 2,000 people watching No Game Day. We've got 600 in here.
Boy.
I mean, the people are out and ready to get excited, and I love it. $20 from Chris. Oh, my goodness. I'll slip. Hopefully I didn't say your name incorrectly, man. You guys are great. Keep up the awesome work. Go Gators. Chris, thank you, my man. Appreciate that, man. Look at that. Hell yeah. Love the support. Twitter saying he's Winter showing up. Winter is coming, and so is Coach Prime. How you feeling? Last minute bag talks. How you feeling, Steve? Are you getting a little nervous now that we're pushing this back as far as we have?
Yeah, I'm starting to think he's on like mountain time, and that's why he's so late. And so now I'm worried. Oh boy.
You think he's got? He's still on Central Time. He's still got a little bit of
it's mountain time.
Lag.
They're in Colorado, but yeah, it's one more over.
Look, guys, we are waiting here for 247. 247 is just showing us highlights. They don't know what's going on. No Game Day isn't live with it yet. His Instagram is not live. I don't think anybody knows what's going on. These kids blow my mind.
How is nobody outside of where he's committing? Why is nobody out there? I can't get a scout. I can't get a spotter.
Can we get some Dave? Can you do some Twitter work? Is Dave still? Yeah, Dave. You can hear me. I just can't hear you. Can you give us some? Can you go through some Twitter timeline? Hold on, Dave. Let me just bring you in, and then you could just be the voice of reason. Let me see if I can add you. Hold on. I don't even have a. There you are, Dave.
Oh.
We can only hear your voice, Dave. So you're going to be like our background talker, okay? So, Dave, what I need from you right now is can you go on Twitter?
There's like almost 700 people in here live. I got to show up to this.
Can you look? I think keeping you like a secret, like behind the curtain guy is kind of perfect right now. Can you go on Twitter and see if like there's anything trending? If anybody is tweeting any photos out of him right now at the party, Can we get some background? Yeah, let's do that. Let's give the people in the chat some love here. Let's give them something to work with because right now we've got.
I got you, baby.
Thank you, Dave. Look at this guy. Guy comes in prepared. I love it. Over almost 700 people in the chat.
Soder's just clutch, baby.
Gator versus anybody just says he committed to Bama. I would be ecstatic if he did, but I don't think that he did. $5. Nothing from Hayes Fawcett yet. This is insane, Steve. I mean, do you expect anything less? It's pay-per-view. I've been telling these people this is what was going to happen.
I don't understand.
Nobody wanted to
believe how many people did we have for the Kermani thing? How many people did we have for that?
Oh, dude, we were over 1,000. We were easily north of 1,000.
Yeah, it was close to this. And then what was his name? Pimbe?
Samuel Pimbo? Yeah. Go ahead, Dave. Give us the insight, sir.
This from at Disney Noel. He said, pretty obvious where he's going. See Prime in the poster, guys. He ain't coming here. So his confidence is low right now, apparently. But this is me just scrolling the timeline. So I'm just going through like certain tweets. Most
Steve just gave me the what the.
That's what he said. I don't have Florida State people on my Twitter, so it's like.
Oh, here we go, guys. We got it. Hold on.
I'll be quiet.
Here he is. Here's the car.
He's gonna show up like a rock.
Oh, he's showing up icy. Oh no, all white, Steve. That can't feel good, Steve.
Oh yeah.
No, all white means FSU commitment. That's what they do. They wear all white on it.
Oh no, he's wearing all black. He's wearing all black.
That means it's all bad. No, this is horrible. Everything's going on.
I love how you went all in on the white.
I mean, that's a.
Bro, gold chain too. I guarantee you, Dion gave it to him.
Bro, he is late as hell. Like this is his own party that he's late as hell to. Like, how do you? He doesn't even care. He doesn't even care.
Oh, wait, no, dude.
All right, so we're gonna keep on this. I mean, obviously he's walking in, so this is gonna be. This is being dragged out, obviously here as it should be. But
this is an 18-minute process to walk in. So
yeah, this.
This is so crazy. Like
this
all
is
you're
unreal.
doing is you're announcing a commitment, dude. This isn't WWE. You're not preparing for the boxing.
Look, here's my thing, dude. Here's my thing. We're gonna get shit. We get shit from all. I see people on Twitter like, "Grown man, what about recruiting?" This is fun. Okay, it's July. I love it. If I was a recruit, I would do the exact same thing. That's my personality. There's multiple ways of going about it. I think whatever is you suits you.
Camera people there.
I love it, bro. Look, dude. Like my thing is, dude. Like you've grinded up until this point. You're a hot commodity. You know it. Now, people are gonna say he's uncoachable. He's got an ego, and those things probably could be an issue. At the end of the day, I'm here for it. I think it's a blast.
Isn't this very Deion Sanders-esque?
I love that we can't see David, and he just fucking dropped it.
It's just. I am the man behind the curtain.
This is cheesing me out, bro. Like, I love this. Dave, I think from now on, we're not even going to have you. We're just going to be the voice of reason. Like, it's just like talking down.
He's walking in there like The Rock. Look at him.
He's kissing babies.
Kissing babies and everything. Look at that. He's kissing babies. I mean, dude, this is what this is in Hollywood.
Dude, there's a backdrop with balloons for photo ops. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's got the CL3 already on it.
Oh, we don't want to get copyrighted on
Oh, he's got some Eminem playing there, too, man. He's got that thing going.
Yeah.
This wasn't coordinated at all. I mean, I all this probably just happened over the last, they just like, you know what we should do? We should just put together a little soiree, maybe get everybody together.
Is this like a weigh-in? Is he gonna strip down to his boxers and weigh in? Or I mean, what is he doing behind there?
Yeah, do that thing where they put the fist to each other.
Dave, can you are you still seeing any noise? Are you still searching?
No. Let's see.
I still have my Hayes Fawcett pulled up just in case. I don't want to miss anything here.
I am not seeing anything right now.
Can you interact with the chat? I can't see the chat. My screen is full of.
I'll just type in Charles Lester and see.
Let's see what we got here, folks. Let's see. So it's mostly I can't wait for me to cry. When I say me, I mean Holly. I can't wait for Holly to cry. This is drawn out. It's without question, Coach Prime. Miami isn't Big Three anymore. UCF replaced them. Dom Tudor. No. That is a quote by Dom Tudor.
So this says Luke,
768
Mostly,
strong.
I
Make
would
sure
have
you
say
guys.
shut up, Dom, but usually you're right. But this time you're right.
this says Luke Crummenhook is here to support 5-star cornerback Charles Lester as he makes his announcement between the Seminoles, Colorado, Georgia, and Alabama. So the quarterback is there. Could you imagine if he picks Colorado and the quarterback for Florida State is there?
That would be huge. So $10.
And they came down there on their own dollar, right? They came down. They drove down. Hollywood. He's just here to watch FSU cry like always. Okay.
Daniel D, 10 months of membership. Thank you, Daniel D, for your constant support. Says the delay, the jewelry, Prime closed it. All right, is he going backstage to what's going on?
Trolling Prime.
Oh boy. We got activity here, people. We got something that doesn't.
Oh nope, he came back out. I can't hit the noise because of the music, guys. Obviously, nothing's going on right now. Once he picks the mic up and he starts talking, we'll go live. But
I will say, no matter who
Kevin
he
Ray
picks,
feels like he's a Gator.
this is different.
this is different. Yeah, he feels like he's a
Yeah.
Gator. You think he's gonna pull out a little baby Gator?
Yeah. Well, Kevin Ray feels so. Looks like Colorado colors from Harrison Sanchez.
Prime watching
So,
live.
I'll say that there's some Colorado colors there. I don't see a lot of garnet and gold. White
that
and
don't
gold
247
backdrop.
now has him as 4-star. He's going to Colorado. Did he drop? FSU buddy, look, is he about to throw up? I think. Look, Steve. Let's kind of let's narrate this through because obviously Steve's an FSU fan. Talk to me, right? I think before the show, you and I spoke. You felt pretty confident, yes or no? You 98% feeling pretty good. Right now, from what's unfolded thus far, you and I don't know anything. I've seen as much as you've seen and heard what you've seen. How do you feel now?
So look, I mean, if I wanted to get like balloons of letters to do like a backdrop, you know how difficult it is. Well, so gold's, by the way, an FSU color too. It's hard to get garnet, but I can get those gold ones from Publix right up the street. So I don't think the gold really matters all that much.
Sure.
I mean. That is what it is. I mean, look, I'm excited for the kid. He's clearly excited for what.
Hey, do you see what that kid's wearing?
Make a big decision.
Do you see what that kid's wearing? Do you see what both those kids are wearing?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Colorado jersey. What the hell?
So give me. Hey, so you were 98% before it started. Where are you at now?
It's still 98%.
Listen to me though. Look, I don't think he would invite his quarterback here for his commitment if he wasn't committing to FSU.
Unless he's just, unless it's a complete. So here's my thing though, because with what he's doing right now, I thought there's a possibility he could commit tonight and then flip later on. You've made your bed. Whether
It could be.
Because if you go to Colorado, no way FSU takes you back, right? I mean, there's just no way. I don't think Nick Saban wants anything to do with this. And if you commit to FSU, I feel like Prime's going to be like, look, man, I don't know. Prime could probably still flip him later on. I don't think Prime's going to be upset with what's going on. But with the kids wearing Colorado jerseys, you got to feel a bit of a troll. Because, look, where do those jerseys come from?
Yeah.
Well, when he went on a visit, like they gave him a bunch of stuff. Here's a massive
I'm
gift
aware
bag for you to take home to your family.
But kids are really, really terrible at keeping secrets too. You got to think about that.
I don't think he would keep it a secret this far and then let the kids blow it either, though. And that's, I think, honestly, more.
Yeah.
Look, guys, we're still waiting. This is the longest commitment.
This is unbelievable.
It's a bit much.
Oh my God. We got like 900 people in here now. It's crazy.
Make sure you guys drop a like, show some love. We should have over 200 likes, and we don't, which is upsetting. I don't understand that.
This is like when when like the Spanish people, they throw like the Sweet 16 parties, and it's like this big party. This is kind of like what this is like.
Yeah,
like,
dude, remember my big Sweet 16 on MTV? This is definitely like this is what I feel like watching this.
Yeah. It's insane. Like there's so many people there.
It's like a bat mitzvah.
937 in the chat. Let's break 1,000 views. Let's break over 200 likes. Are they talking? They're still just dancing. Okay. I was hoping that maybe somebody was talking or narrating. We're just hanging out, just vibing.
Yeah.
What's crazy is again this party started at 7, according to his flyer that was created, right?
Hey, maybe he got a little drunk before he showed up, man. He just wanted to dance a little bit. You don't know that. Maybe
He's
maybe he's
underage.
got that.
I don't
goose.
think we should
I mean,
claim underage drinking, Dave.
I'm not going to claim that. I'm just saying he could have. Hey, that goose. That goose.
you were
could be
supposed to be the invisible voice of reason, Dave. Damn
What's
it.
fun? Somebody in the chat said he's drunk. That's hilarious. Hit the like button, boys and girls. Dom says $2. It says if he goes to Buffs, I don't have a bedtime. All right, here we go. Dude, this guy's wearing a Colorado hoodie, bro. What's up, bro? Steve, what?
This is such a troll. This is such a troll. There's too many Colorado stuff.
We see the lady on the left. See the lady on the left? Full FSU gear though.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Okay, look, this is getting intriguing here. This is getting intriguing.
Remember,
We got hype, man.
I can't do with the music, guys. I'm not trying to get banned from the internet.
Turn the mic.
There we go.
Hey, where y'all think this man going?
Oh my God, are you kidding me? Okay. I was like, bro.
Who got Florida State? Florida State? Who got Alabama? Right here? What about Georgia?
the hell with Jordan.
Hey guys, all right, who we picking based off one of the boys?
He said to you.
FSU's the only one that doesn't have sunglasses, by the
What
way.
about Colorado? Nobody for Colorado? Nobody
Oh
for
my
Colorado?
goodness.
Florida State?
You see that? So we're picking like base again, like okay, he's wearing black jeans, blue jeans.
Give me some roll hair.
FSU's the only one that doesn't have sunglasses. That's gotta make you feel good, right? Because Lester has sunglasses. He's the completing piece.
Y'all ready?
Oh,
Y'all
wow.
think George right here? George right here? Let him know.
Oh, this is incredible. this is incredible.
Alabama?
Oh, turn around.
Bama?
I can't even keep up.
Oh gosh.
No, I don't think so.
Take it around.
Let's go right here. Florida State. Where is that? Florida State?
Oh, he's trolling. He's trolling.
This is gonna be
Y'all
Dude,
still
this is gonna be
live
next,
over
dude.
there? Okay. Hold on. Wait.
We got to see the last
Colorado.
door.
Oh!
He's going to Florida. He's going to
Now
Florida.
what? Now we
That's
all
it.
got.
Yeah.
Who? Still Florida State?
This is turning out to be one of the best commitments I've ever seen.
Hey, real. In South Carolina.
Yeah, this is pretty good.
That's why so South.
It's South Carolina. Go Gamecocks.
All right. Go Utah.
Watch it be
Drop a
like
like, boys.
Vanderbilt.
Drop a like in the comment right now. Who's he going? Where's he going? South Carolina? Georgia?
Oh boy.
Hey, he going West at home.
Holly's nervous.
I'm freaking. Yeah, dude. Holly's cheat. I can see him. What is that?
There's nothing like a commitment to get everybody nervous.
Okay, what are we doing?
It's
DJ
freestyle.
Scratch and Stiff on the ones and twos.
Over 1,000 people in here, boys and girls. Let me know in the comments where is he going.
There's 1,000 people in here. It's crazy.
What is gonna be?
What is going on, Steve?
I have no.
I have to mute it because that's not him singing, right?
Uh,
That's an actual
Dude.
song.
Holly looks.
I've never
nervous
heard
now.
this song before, but I'm sure it is.
Nothing like a commitment to get people nervous.
Unbelievable. Sorry, I gotta put the music down, guys. It's just they're just singing. So until the music
Yeah, they're
stops,
YouTube will take that down if it's like copyright.
yeah, we don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
So they're still singing. This real quick, Steve.
What do you?
Halftime here. Where's the 98% still? We still
I
feeling pretty.
mean, we're heading into the 2-minute warning. I don't know how long I can stay up for this. This is past my bedtime. I'm not kidding you, people.
Did your stomach drop when? Hey, did your stomach drop a little bit when the FSU turned around? A little bit.
A
little
a
bit.
Skosh.
Let's
A
go.
skosh. I think a skosh is a measurement.
I'm just wondering what he's.
He's putting on his
What are you
Colorado Buffs
doing
uniform.
back there? What could you
Colorado's
possibly
making
be
a
doing
last-minute
back
phone call.
Is he getting on top of like a horse to do like?
Bro,
the
could you
Florida State
imagine
thing?
if he just like hovered? Just floated.
there?
Bro, a helicopter like lifts him up. He rides out on a buffalo.
Plot twist. That was never him the entire time. He flies. That was my
Oh,
doppelganger. I fooled you all.
This guy's back on the mic. This guy's back on the mic. Let's listen.
Are you ready?
You're wrong.
I thought he was.
It's okay.
You're wrong.
What is this skosh? 1.1 thousand people in here, boys. Again, drop a like, subscribe, show some love. Let YouTube know that
is a measurement.
Yeah, skosh is a measurement. God bless y'all FSU fans. I love the comments.
Golly.
This is incredible.
Why can't we just get an easy commitment?
This is I told you guys it was pay-per-view. I told you that it was pay-per-view. Literally. Nobody wanted to listen. You knew that it was going to be a show. What's going? Oh.
You ready?
Oh, here we go.
I used to take times like this to rhyme like this, so I had to grind like that to shine like this. In a matter of time I spent on some locked up.
Just do it.
I can't do the music.
I know. Just do it.
Well, I mean, this we'll be able to see whatever happens. I don't know.
I would laugh. This guy said UCF. I would laugh if it was UCF.
Oh
I
my
would
gosh.
freaking laugh.
People are like, what happened just to picking hats? Look,
Right?
hey, look at the guy in the back right,
we
black
used to-
t-shirt, right? He knows what's going on. He sees behind the curtain. He's calling his boys right now. Get that guy on the phone. Get that guy on the phone right now. He knows what's going on.
Dave,
We'll know.
Dave.
Call Dave. Call that guy right there.
Dave, come on.
Call that guy. Top right corner. Black tee.
I'll call him. I got him. I'll get him on the line right now.
Sweet.
That's great.
Hayes, you know what? Hey, kudos to Hayes Foster for not blowing this for the kid. Look, let's be honest here. Let's call it how we see it. All right, this is huge.
So,
Hey,
shout
shout out to his boys for walking out in t-shirts with X on their back. Like that's their ride or dies. Like,
yeah.
It's like, hey, the rest in peace.
oh my god.
Oh, he's gonna come out of the curtain. Oh, it's gonna be a curtain reveal.
It's curtain call.
Oh, that's how you know it's real.
What's
Hopefully
a
it doesn't come out like a song or something. I don't want to see that.
Is he wearing like the whole uniform? That's what
I don't
you got to think, right? Like, this is unbelievable.
Everybody's
never-
just like for him to come out.
Bro, 10,000 people probably watching him across all platforms.
I
Just
see like a spot. I think I see a spotlight.
And then
behind him.
but then at the same time, you wonder why he's dragging it out. I don't know, because he's got 10,000 views.
yeah, but not him though. You know what I mean?
Oh man, this is crazy.
Get this man a WWE deal. I love it.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't like it when recruitments are dragged out, but this one's pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie.
It's just hilarious.
This might be one of those things. So you know that, like, you know, in like baseball, if you've got like a really good baseball prospect, that in college you may never actually get them. Right? They may just skip baseball in college altogether and just get drafted by the pros, and you're like, well, we can't keep up with that. I feel like that's this, right? Like this is like, you know, I could be in the WWE right now.
I'm live. He's live on his
coming
Instagram too, by the way. I got it. I got his Instagram, but it looks like it's behind what we're watching here. Bro, I've got everything pulled up just in case some homeboy in the back leaks it, because he definitely sees what's going on back there. Look at everyone behind the curtain.
McMahon's wondering whether or not he should just draft this kid right now to be on Monday Night Raw or whatever the hell they call that. I don't know. I don't watch wrestling, but you guys.
He's gonna come out with a WWE shirt on, saying, "Yeah, I'm going to WWE."
He'll come up with like 17 shirts and probably peel 4 off. And be like,
Here we go. People are screaming.
There it is.
Oh, look at that. Florida State.
Wait.
Woo. Wait, does that say Colorado?
That's what I
I'm just
thought.
kidding.
Oh,
no,
Florida State.
no, he's got a spear in his hand.
that took way too
Fight,
long.
baby!
I was about to say that's
Fight, baby!
Congratulations.
Let's go!
Golly,
My
dude.
God! I mean,
the nerves have ran
just
off.
fight for FSU. Give me
Holy
a win here, my
cow,
brother.
dude. There, Hayes
Give
just
me
dropped
a
it.
Win.
Hayes just dropped it, dude.
He dragged
Oh.
that out for the obvious. Like it was so obvious, and he dragged it out. Like it's crazy.
Calola, dude.
How did Hayes keep that under wraps? Like that guy's got the twitchiest Twitter finger I've ever seen in my life.
Unbelievable.
how he didn't put it out there is amazing to me. Let's go, baby.
A little much. Congrats, Steve. Well, Steve.
How do you take that long to set that up? Like that doesn't even take that long.
I don't know, but Dave, we're gonna pass it over to Steve. Let 1,200 people listen to Steve talk about his new big commitment as you guys have just landed. Lester is a Knoll, Steve. Let's hear, big guy.
Go ahead, 5
My
star.
gosh, we waited for it. We waited for it. I mean, we're talking about a top 20 nationally ranked, the number 2 quarterback overall in the country, 5-star kid out of Florida. We all know what the competition level is like in the state of Florida. That is a massive, massive pickup. 247 has him listed at a 99. On 3 is a 96. You can pick your poison. Again, we've talked about that ad nauseum on which recruiting site you can rank a person. But let's get into what FSU is getting with Charles Lester. 6'2", 185 now. He's going into his senior year. Who didn't grow a little bit when they got into their senior year? He's a rangy quarterback that can play either the field or the boundary side. And why that's important is because if you think about having to play both zone and man coverage, those times that you see the one-on-one of a wide receiver and a cornerback out there isolated on an island, and they hit that fade route, it's all about who's going to win the ball in the air. And that's what Charles Lester III can excel at. He's just got overall explosiveness. I mean, the guy is good in short and mid-range coverage. He does need to work a little bit on long range. I'm not saying that. He doesn't have the top range speed that some of these other corners do. But look, we're talking about a guy who, if in the first 15, 25 yards, he's going to be better than you. But he can sustain coverage outside of the 25 yards, but he just needs to work on a little bit on his long speed. Now, he can play press coverage as well. FSU loves to play press coverage because they like to get their corners in run game support. Getting a wide receiver out of their route within that first 5 yards, even if you can get them off by a step, maybe 2, that's going to throw off the entire timing of what a quarterback wants to do. Charles Lester can do that, and he can do that very well. Any static that you can create to get those guys just a little bit off of their natural wide receiver route tree is going to benefit a defensive line, a strong defensive line, which is what FSU has right now. And they've just got a farm of those guys coming one after the other after the other. His size alone, in space especially, is what you're looking for in a corner. And it just gives you so much flexibility to do different things on where you want to put him on the inside, the outside. He's not a nickel guy. I would not put this guy as a nickel. He doesn't have the size for it. He doesn't shed blocks well enough for it. I would say that he's going to be probably a 1-year project. I would say a sophomore high play guy, junior for 1-year starter, like guaranteed. What does this mean for FSU? And I want to touch on that because as we watched this and we were talking about it and we saw the chat kind of go through some of the different just motions. The biggest thing for me is that Norvell can not only build relationships, but he can also close, especially when there was a late push by another school that has a very, very, very good reputation of coming in and stealing your baby. That'll take your baby right out from under you. And Norvell was able to not only just build that reputation, but close. FSU had some misses in the past, for sure, when it came to closing on the kids that they had built reputations with. And I just feel like this time around, Florida State saw what was going on. They had the relationship. Lester was their guy. There was a late push, and every time Colorado threw a punch, we had defense. We threw a counter punch.
Sure.
One after the other after the other. Hats off to Colorado. Hats off to Colorado.
I think you're spot on here too. You had that scare that this could happen again, where Dion could shove Norvell in the locker, and this gives you confirmation. I think you guys have been building up with Norvell over the last few years. The first couple of years, there was some struggle there. There were some question marks going into last year. Was he on the hot seat? Had a great year last year. The expectations for Florida State going into this year are absolutely huge. Look, I think you're nervous because of how high the expectations are, but you got to expect with a Heisman favorite quarterback coming into play, you should expect big things. You got a 6'7" and Williams, am I correct? As a wide receiver, we watched him last year a little bit. Guy's going to be an absolute threat as well. And this is just one more piece that was a question mark under Norvell. I've already given the crown for the transfer portal between him, Lane Kiffin, and our boy out and Lincoln Riley out at USC. You got to give it to those three guys as being transfer portal kings. Coach Prime made a little bit of a splash this year, but nowhere near what those three have been able to do over the last 3 years. Norvell has dropped the ball up until this year, and dropping the ball is a light term, right? Because he made up for it in the portal. But we all know, and you and I have both spoke, that you still have to build in the recruiting cycle, and now he is doing that. So it's like you've completed all your puzzles. Now you got to go win. That's what we're going to see coming up. But look, this is going to put you guys into top 8 now in the country. I did the calculator for you. Go ahead and head that for you, Steve, because you know how I like to always play with the calculator. I got to bet that you guys finish in the top 10. Lester was always being my guy. Now, JoJo Trader was also one that I thought you guys were going to pull. That flip is still as a possibility, but KJ Bolden is next on your list coming up this Friday, which will be another pay-per-view event. That seems to be making a little bit of you guys are like the Colorado in that scenario. Georgia seems to be the ultimate lock, but FSU is making a little bit of a, late push here, so that'll be an interesting one. But all in all, congrats to you guys. Big land there. Great event. I had a good time. I had over 1,000 people in here, which was incredible to see. All of you guys, thank you who stopped by, dropped a like, subscribed. Happy to have you. Dave, we've got a whole show set up, so I don't know if you want to just hang out in the back area. You can. You're more than happy to. But Dave and I have...
I think I'm going to leave. You pretty much said everything that I was going to say, because I was going to say that, Florida State moves number 8 right now, because I did the calculator too, just for Holly there, because he was a nervous wreck over there.
I appreciate it. I'm not going to lie. I don't know how to do the calculator. You guys know how to do it. I don't know how to do
Steve,
it. Like, I looked at it a couple times.
This is for you, Steve. This is for you.
Fight for FSU! Fight, baby, fight!
He's earned it. But yeah, Dave, thank you for stopping by.
Before I leave, all I wanted to say, it's like, Holly, when you really got to take a bad dump and then you finally get it all out. That's what it kind of felt like, being nervous towards that, and then finally,
that's true.
Florida State. Yeah.
That's okay.
All right.
Okay.
See you, boys.
Hey, over 1,000 people in the chat. Thank you all for watching, and I'll be sipping on this drink I got in the living room. So
love it. See you, Dave.
Love you, Soder.
$2 from Dominic as well says, my memes will be on standby. You're lucky, Daddy. Oh, dang. Don was going to put it to you. Let's talk Gator recruitment. Well, actually, Joe Blackburn, we are going to discuss more SEC talk, ACC talk, actually, because that's something that's going on a lot right now, is the Noles to the SEC, hashtag Noles out. So this is a big one here that it's been talked about earlier this year, and now it's getting ramped back up after ACC Media Week has come to a close. The noise of ACC or the Seminoles leaving is at an all-time high. And you got to think with the move from Colorado, got things moving a little bit. And the FSU's looking around going, we can't sit here and just make pennies on the dollar when all these teams are getting absolutely just loaded in. So we see basically the breakdown of the Pac-12 happening right before our eyes, which also tells you those schools are going to be looking for a new home, which tells you that spots are going to be filling up in other conferences. We've talked about possibly a Big 2, a Big 3. I thought the ACC could make it to where it's a Big 4. I thought the Pac-12 would definitely go away. We always talked about that. But I don't know. With the Noles one now, I don't see the Clemson's and the Miami's leaving as quickly, but it's going to happen, I think, if FSU takes that first step on leaving, that those guys follow. Where do you think they head?
I mean, look, the fact that there's more noise around FSU leaving again after we just went through that, I want to say back in March, it looks like FSU is getting to the point where they're tired of leading the pack, of leaving the ACC, and they're ready to just say, if you're not coming with us, we're going to figure it out ourselves. Because we started this train. We started this whole ball rolling concept of let's just get the hell out of here. And now with Colorado being able to so quickly move out of the Pac-12 and move to the Big 12. I think it's a shock to what the ACC and at what FSU was trying to do. So look, I'm looking at FSU coming up to a situation where by the middle of August, they have to redeclare to the ACC that they are an ACC school, and I don't see that happening. I'm not. It's just that this is looking more and more like FSU not only just started this trend, but when they couldn't get the rest of the schools to be as aggressive as they were, now they're just saying, "Hey, we're out. We're going to be as fast as we can."
And the question
It's
is,
just
how
difficult.
do they get out of this, right? Because everyone's like, well, how do they exit out of this deal? And you and I talked before, the 7 teams have to agree to leaving, which they've already agreed on. I think they were kind of holding back, hoping that the ACC and the commish would show some signs that we're moving in the right direction. Clearly, there was talks that didn't give them any good feeling that would change. So right now, it feels again like it's the recruiting thing, that the gut feeling is that they're leaving, and they feel the pressure because of what's happening around them, that they have to make this move quickly, or they're going to be stuck with a bad deal for a very long time if they don't move now. And you and I talked, where do we think they go? From a fan perspective, you felt SEC was the best case scenario. I think there's going to be a lot of question marks if the SEC takes that plunge, because we're already extending to 2 more teams next year. It seems like this would want to happen pretty quickly. Do they extend it to 2 more? And also, too, the Big Ten, do they extend? Because you can't just add 1. You got to add another one, right? Someone else has to come with it. With how quickly it would want to happen, the Big Ten, in my opinion, feels most likely it could happen simply due to the fact that where they have spread their tentacles across the board. They're not afraid to go all the way out west, all the way out east, north, and now they've got to just close out the south. That doesn't matter to them. And I feel like because of that, they're a little bit more open to taking somebody else that doesn't fit that. Like an SEC, he's talked about keeping it in between the borders, right? I think Texas is as far west as they're going to go. We've got our east out into South Carolina, and north is about that Mizzou, Kentucky area. That's as far as they're going to go around. That's the border. So if you're not inside of that area, you're not going to be in the SEC. The Big Ten doesn't seem to have those constraints. So Big Ten seems most likely to happen. I think the most reasonable situation would be the SEC. It would be exciting to see. I mean, that would be a hell of a schedule, even more so. But again, just from a fan perspective, we talked about, like, you don't want to go be playing against USC, Ohio State. I mean, time zones, traveling, it seems awful.
Yeah. So the one thing I will say is that if FSU accelerates the timeline to get out of the ACC, now we're saying which conference, because there's only going to be 2. We wouldn't be doing this if there weren't one of the 2 big conferences that were ready to expand, right? So it's either got to be the SEC or the Big Ten. The Big Ten, I think, is faster to accept.
The Big 12 is an
because I
option
think
too, simply due to the fact that they're growing. They have room.
But FSU would not go back into a growth scenario.
I got
They're
you. It's going
into
backwards.
A structure scenario, right?
Got you.
Well, because I mean, if that's the case, then we can hope that the ACC figures things out. But we're not going to go to the Big 12 and hope that they can keep up.
Sure,
right?
That makes sense.
We're only going to leave, and we're only going to put all of our cards on the table if one of the 2 big conferences are willing to accept. And the other thing is, and look, I don't know if it's the Big 10 or the SEC. I have my own preference, but FSU wouldn't be accelerating this conversation so aggressively if they didn't have a confidence level that there was a suitor.
So you feel it's like the transfer portal, right? They already have noise that somebody wants them. So they got the knock on the door that, hey, we'll take you. You got to figure out how to get out of your deal. And I think that's a good point,
right.
that this came out of nowhere, and it feels like somebody showed up and go, hey, we're trying to add 1 more. You'd be a great fit. Here's our offer.
But it didn't come out of nowhere. There was no chance that a business deal this large. This is where lawyers and executives come in.
Yeah,
this isn't us, right? This isn't a small decision. This is a years in the making decision.
Sure.
You don't
I think the hammer was pressed that, hey, this needs to happen though quickly, because I think of the other noise, right? I think that Colorado was the start of it, but I think there's other rumblings that Arizona and Utah and other schools from the Pac-12 are going to be leaving to the Big 12. And again, when that starts to fill up, other schools are going to notice that as well. That may not be as constrained to a contract like FSU is. And again, those spots are going to start filling up because I guarantee you some of those Pac-12s are going to find themselves in the Big 10. And if the Big 10 was your offer, then that's going to be like, hey, like the Big 10 goes, we're offering you this, but you have to understand that the Pac-12 is basically, it's done for. It is no more, and we need to make this happen. What's even interesting, I found out today, Coach Prime didn't even go to the Pac-12 Media Day. A lot of it probably more so to do with health, but probably is like, I don't care about this conference anymore. I'm out this B.
Well, I mean,
which kind of just shows
Dabo
again
didn't show up to some of the ACC stuff. Remember, he got fined. Like Dabo Sweeney got fined for not showing up to some of the ACC. No. For earlier in the year when they were doing when all this stuff started to come out, it was a little bit of a different thing. But he was supposed to be there. He got fined. He was like, "I'm on vacation." There's just been a big middle finger to
wrapping up.
To
where do you think FSU ends? And I mean, again, you want them at SEC, but where do you think they actually? Give me your percentages on where do they think they end up?
I mean, at this point, I would say probably 70% SEC, 30% Big Ten.
Okay, that's reasonable, and I think you're spot on there. Again, it doesn't make sense the Big Ten. I think it would diminish the brand. To be honest with you, if they were to become a part of the Big Ten, there just isn't enough rivalry there. I think, look, obviously you have Florida, but FSU Georgia would be exciting to watch. FSU Tennessee would be exciting to watch. It just because it's so close to home, right? It makes sense. It would work. FSU South Carolina would replace Clemson. Those things would work. I just don't see look. Florida State football, Florida football is a great brand. Anybody's going to want to watch them play anybody. Let's not get it twisted. Florida State, Ohio State's going to be exciting, but it just isn't going to carry the weight. It's not your big noon kickoff where it's wintertime. It's too much difference, in my opinion, that you kind of lose the pizzazz of what Big Ten football is. It doesn't fit. They fit SEC.
And that flips, I hate it. Way.
I don't want it. I don't want it. For personally, I like the difference, right? But I also don't like to see. I don't want to see you guys kind of get thrown to the wayside either.
Well, could you imagine like Michigan playing a 3:30 game in Tallahassee? They'd melt. Like the earliest September game. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like there's something about college football.
FSU and LSU, they've already created a little rivalry over this past year and going into this year for obviously
they've been playing
makes more sense.
Like Auburn FSU has been playing since the 80s. These
real quick before we move on,
I've
seen a lot of comments says you're saying FSU does not increase the money for the SEC, that there's no benefit for the SEC except FSU. I think you're a little off on that because if you don't think they're going to bring more money from a football perspective than Vandy, a Mizzou, even Kentucky, you're crazy. That's number one. So they wouldn't be the last producing football team out there. That's absurd. Number two, I lost my train of thought because I just can't think that. Oh, the growth is going to happen regardless. I think there's more than the writing is on the wall that the SEC is going to be adding more teams. So if that is the case, you mean to tell me you'd rather add a Miami and a Clemson or a Texas Tech? Right, I'm guessing here, right? But Tech's not going to lead the Big 12 or USF. So let's look at the whole picture here. You're looking at a small thing like it feels like, oh, we're just taking it because we have to. It's going to happen. And right now, if you have the pick of the litter, you pick them. I don't think I'm not missing it. I don't think Joe says I'm missing it. I think you're crazy if you think FSU is a poverty school in regards to money. That's absurd to me. Absurd.
Look, so the other thing is we're past the point of regional. Regionally, is great, but these are national media contracts. And FSU's national brand has a lot of pull. It's like think about Notre Dame. Notre Dame has a massive national pull when it comes to people who want to put eyes on Notre Dame. FSU has a national pull. They just do. So it doesn't matter if you think that you're not going to expand your geographic footprint. People don't watch geographic footprint anymore. That's not how That's not how the media works anymore. You're not like watching things that are within your 48 miles of your zip code. Like football matters on a national scale, and the matchups matter on a national scale, and that's what draws the eyes. Like, let's be honest, FSU LSU, that's easily the biggest game in week one college football. It's not because it's regional or because they're even in the same demographic. It's because the two teams are national and they have a recognition on that level.
Yeah,
That's
FSU's a big brand. You said, look, but what does FSU bring to the SEC? And look, I'm the first to rag on FSU and being in the ACC. Again, the growth of the SEC is inevitable. So they're not going to go farther than Texas. We just kind of went over that. The footprint and the geographical what SEC and Sankey are looking at has already been met to its extensions. So you mean to tell me that Clemson would add to this more than FSU? Well, and you're going to say yes because they won the past 2 years. If FSU stays on the path that they're currently on, which is a winning football team and probably going to beat Clemson this year, then yeah, they would add some flavor. Now, is it going to be a big splash like an OU in Texas? No, I don't agree with that at all. Texas and OU is absolutely huge in their own way. But this extension wouldn't be another big splash. You're just making what is already strong stronger. And I think if I don't know how we were even arguing about this. I think the SEC and Gator fans, I think you guys are a little blinded that you don't want Florida State to be a part of your family. That's more so where this is coming from. This isn't like it doesn't make sense business-wise. That's crazy. If you take your emotions out of it, it makes complete and total sense. Complete and total sense.
And look, the commissioner for the SEC even just kind of wrote a blueprint not too long back of, we don't want to go outside the region. We want to make sure that the school is committed to sports. We want all these things. I mean, if you can't write a laundry list of things that look exactly like FSU and potentially Clemson, they wanted a larger student population. They wanted a larger alumni base. Like, again, you're talking about schools with a little bit that are bigger and committed to sports. Like, that might not be a Miami. Miami is a private school. They have a small alumni base. They have a small population. I don't know if they're 100% committed to all of their sports. But
barely committed
you look
to
at
football.
FSU, and I mean, super. But I mean, it just, again, like, why would the commissioner come out and draw a blueprint of something if they were to expand? If he didn't have any reason to expand, then why would it look so similar to what FSU is?
I get what Bravo Dave, I get what he's saying, right? Is that adding FSU doesn't really add new TV markets, because Joe says UNC and UVA. That would extend the TV market a little more for the SEC. So in that regard, yes, you're bringing in a few more states that you did not have. Because where's Vandy? Vandy's in South Carolina, right? No, Tennessee. It's in Tennessee.
It's Nashville.
Yeah, Tennessee. So yeah, I guess, look, at that regards, I guess that part does make sense, because in a way, Clemson is just a secondary South Carolina. They're a better school, but from a TV market. So I get it. Those things make sense. From a branding perspective, I think FSU makes sense. But we're getting a little too much into it. We can argue about it all day long. Last little bit here. This is Tua's little brother from Maryland. He's Maryland's quarterback, Tagovailoa. He claimed in an interview at Big Ten Media Day that he was offered $1.5 million from an anonymous SEC school to transfer to them. Now, I was trying to do some research to figure out where he could transfer, like what school could it have been. And it's not as easy as you could maybe think. I mean, maybe some people are a little better than me than being a private investigator. I do know that he went to Bama. He was there with Tua. He transferred because he wanted to play. He felt that he wasn't going to have an opportunity to play. Bama makes sense that they would offer him to come back because of the quarterback situation going on at Alabama. And again, he denied it. And he goes, it's not about money, it's about happiness, which tells me he probably will still have to fight to start, which at Bama, I think he probably still would have. I don't feel like it would have been in Auburn or Ole Miss. Georgia's fine. Kentucky doesn't really seem like they would be interested or offer $1.5 million. They just don't seem like that type of squad. Could be wrong. I just don't feel like they play into that. So you got to think it's got to be the Bamas. Maybe an Auburn plays in that mix a little bit because he was obviously down there. Hugh Freeze just flipped a 5-star wide receiver from Alabama. Could Florida have been in that mix? Maybe. We've had drama with quarterbacks. But the issue I have with this is a massive claim. This is a huge claim. Two things here. One, obviously pay to play, which I thought was frowned upon, but the NCAA and their slap on the wrist tells me otherwise. And with the SEC, right, with it being claiming that the SEC offered him to enter into the transfer portal, that's tampering, which seems to have raised more eyebrows than the money being offered. That has pissed coaches off more of other coaches tampering than the actual money that's being handed, right? Because it's like, look, like it's like war, right? Even though war doesn't have rules and it seems like it's a bloody game, there's still rules. There's unwritten rules to this, that it's mano a mano, the gentleman's touch. That's what it is. Tampering is you going over that boundary. It's like, look, I don't care if you pay this kid. I don't care what you do. But don't come into my backyard when he's eating dinner with me and offer him a deal. That's low blow shit. And that's what he is claiming here. You can't just go off on a random interview and go, yeah, I got offered $1.5 million. There's two parts. One, you could be considered a slander. You're slandering the SEC conference, one. You're slandering a coach, although you didn't say a name, but you're putting it out there. But you're also shopping yourself. You see what he did here, right? You throw out $1.5 million like that, well, now it's like, okay, I'm naming my price because he can go next year. Even though he transferred, he's a graduate student. Next year, he can transfer for free, just like Emory Jones just did, because obviously he transferred from Alabama. So I think it's more of him just putting his price on the market the free way. Could be wrong there, but that's what I think. Steve?
Look, I don't see that there's any reason to bring that up. And we all know it's happening. We're all well aware that it's happening. The coaches have been talking about it. They've gone to their own individual media days. Like the ACC has said it. The SEC coaches have said it. Like they've all been talking about it. There's a whole group of coaches getting together trying to put some type of regulation on NIL. And then you've got this kid coming out and it just sounds like it's just shooting off at the mouth. And the worst part is to me is that this kid doesn't need money. He's got a really rich brother, right? So if you want to market yourself, and I get that part, I get the part that you want to market yourself and you want to be able to, myself, I don't want to rely on my family. I deserve this money. But why would you say that? It just feels so unnatural because any of these players could have said that by now, and none of them had. So that there is at least a little bit of an internal or even an external pressure on them that says, hey, let's maybe be a little bit smart about the way that we're handling some of these transactions. And who told, and he just comes out and says the thing that we all know has been happening that just didn't need to be said. So he lost me at that. Why he did it, I don't care. There's a whole lot of reasons why he might have done it. Maybe
it's
to
the
build
fact
his
that he did it.
value. Maybe
there's
it's just the fact that he did it. Don't. It's already a volatile enough situation. Shut up. Just shut up.
Yeah, it's almost, again, like in Joe says, he made that shit up. It doesn't feel credible, right? It's like a he said, she said. And if you're gonna go out there and claim something that atrocious, which is again massive, that's a massive claim. You can't just say like, yeah, that's what happened, and then keep going. That's not okay. It's like you're at work and you're at the water cooler and Gina walks by. Like, hey, did you hear the CEO was banging the front clerk? Yeah, no, it's crazy, right? And then just keep walking. Like, where does that come from?
Yeah. You drop your water cone and you walk away. Like, what?
Yeah, like what? You can't do that. Like you broke the code.
It's just dumb.
And look, I think this is gonna hurt us. You have to look and think like, would it hurt his draft stock? That's a little bit farther out, but it's a character flaw. Like, what are you doing? It's unless there's an actual claim there. But what's your purpose here? Like, what are you trying to achieve by doing this? Because if not, you're just stirring drama. You're just creating noise to basically be heard because nobody writes about you. And he is a phenomenal quarterback. He is a blast to watch. I remember watching him at Maryland last year going, how the hell do these kids at Maryland, how does SEC guys not get a hold of somebody like this? Like watching him play, like, dude, he's a freak. Well, what they did, he just transferred, right? And I didn't realize that. But I don't know. It just he's kid's talented. I don't think he needs to try to sell himself more than what it is, and that's what it feels like. It's a cry for attention. Could be wrong.
It was an unnatural conversation, and I could understand if it comes out in like a little bit of a different situation. You have it just starts to like kind of matriculate to where like people are talking a little bit more, but to just be just a dagger out there like that and to say something, even if it's true, just why? It doesn't make any sense.
Unless you have a purpose behind it, unless you're trying to figure something out. Well, boys and girls, I think we had a fantastic show. I said it was pay-per-view, and it was pay-per-view. Happy to have all of you guys here. I see you guys in the comments about Gator stuff. There's a lot of Gator news that's going on right now. There'll be some videos dropping out probably tomorrow. So be sure to keep your eyes tuned out for that. This is an FSU show. This is all for Steve here. So kudos to you, Steve, landing yourself a big fish. Top 8 class. Hopefully you guys are done, but that's not what we're hearing. So I'm sure the Discord is getting rowdy with Harlan right now. I'm sure they're celebrating, having a good time. But you guys have a good night. Be good. Until next time, I'm Shelton.
I'm Holly.
Boogie to boogie, boys.
What it's like to be in debt, been stabbed in the back.